Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
That's it. Nice high energy start to the show.
Yeah, I know. I thought it's a high energy start to the year, isn't it? I mean, because am I supposed to say that? I've forgotten.
We're
Am I
in
allowed to say this?
trouble. We are in trouble.
Why is that?
I mean, when we started, when the podcast first started coming out, right? We were 22 films in. We had 22 weeks worth of float to get to the end of. Because we've sort of decided now that once we're done with this phase, what's this, phase 4?
Phase 4, yeah.
Then we're done, right?
Yes.
The show ends. We now are recording in 2023. The last episode that's just gone out to the Patreons is the bloody Black Widow one.
Yeah, which wasn't that long ago, was it?
It was 2 films ago, James. We're in trouble.
Yeah.
So we either have to do these weekly again, otherwise there's going to be a gap. I think there's going to be a gap, isn't there? Which is Matt's already worried about it.
I know. There probably will be. I mean, we've only got 4 films left now after this one.
Yes.
So,
do you want my honest opinion? We should have ended after the Howard the Duck episode, I think.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Does anyone really give a shit what we think about these recent films?
That's the problem, because, I mean, this one in particular... I mean, I don't know what you think about this film, but we'll see what happens.
Let's hold off, James. Let's not get crazy up.
I mean, there is still good stuff to come.
Can I say, right? One thing I think we need to address as a race, as a human race, as a species, right, is that when you tell someone, "Oh, I'm going to watch such and such film tonight," if you don't like it, just shut the fuck up. Honestly, the amount of people I go, "Oh, we're watching Eternals this weekend." Oh, that's shit. So who's that serving? Who's that serving? Seriously though, we should. There should be some sort of law against that, because it's who's that helping in any way, shape, or form? And the amount of people hated that. Okay, all right. If I was to say I watched Eternals last weekend, or hated that, fine, let's talk about it, that's the discussion. But I'm going to watch that this week, that's rubbish. Alright, well, what do you want from me, mate? Do you want me to just change my plans, or what's...
Oh, I won't watch it then.
This film in particular, I mean, everyone is bad-mouthing it. Like, everyone hated it, and they want you to know so badly that they didn't like this film. And I'm like, okay. We ignored some of your advice, James.
I know you did, which I don't know how that went
well,
down.
2 things. You said, firstly, don't let Harry watch it. Harry watched it with us.
Yeah. Oh.
Secondly, you said watch it in 2 sittings. We didn't. We watched it in 1 from start to finish.
But see, I did the same thing as well. I ignored my own advice. When I watched it.
You watched it with Harry?
No, not with Harry.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, gotcha. Just make sure. Yeah. Should we get into the Eternals? Sorry, you had something to say before we started.
No. I think you were right. I think maybe finishing on Howard the Duck would have been maybe not a terrible idea.
Not a terrible idea.
But
it's the Eternals. I was about to ask the dumbest question: is the Eternals a comic book? Of course it is. Right?
It is. Yeah.
But not a very well known one, right? I've never heard of the Eternals.
No, I mean it's from 1976. That's when it first came out, and it was written by Jack Kirby. But it's been rebooted many times.
And has it really?
Yeah, it's like
in comic book form, you mean?
Yeah, not rebooted. You know what I mean? You know, like how they do a new series of it and then another series of it, and they reimagine things. And
I don't care about comic books.
This is also though quite different to the comic books in the sense of the characters are all they've like changed a lot of the characters. Like they've like gender swapped them. They've changed like.
I didn't know much about this. I did watch the trailer beforehand. And I was surprised to see Salma Hayek in it. I had no idea she was in these films.
Yeah. And
there's some more surprises along the way, James. Should we get to it?
Go on, let's get on with it. Go on.
I've not reread these notes. I have no idea what's going to come up. Sorry.
Well, see, I took notes as I was watching this film, but then I became aware that after about an hour, I looked at my notes. I thought I haven't made any more notes for quite a long period of time. Oh, really?
Okay, yeah, no, I've got how many notes? I've got 6 pages.
Oh, okay, right.
Okay, crack on. And then obviously, I was grinning from ear to ear from the start of the film. Do you know why? Try and have a guess, James. Why was I so bowled over by the opening of this film?
You're a big fan of Richard Madden.
Nope.
Okay.
Pre that.
Okay.
What's the first thing you see? What is the first thing you see in this film, James?
Well, title, the whole thing where it does the whole
text?
explaining, the text. Yeah.
What's the first line of that text?
Oh, I don't remember.
In the beginning.
Oh, did it say in the beginning?
It says in the beginning, right at the start. It was wonderful.
I did not notice that. But yeah.
And then when that text come up, Harry went, Star Wars!
Do you know, actually, no, I can tell you something about that. The director wanted to have it like Star Wars, like with like a scrolling text.
He failed completely because, I mean, all right, a couple of the Star Wars films failed with it, but at least the majority of them were simple. This was I was like, what?
Yeah,
There's the Celestials and the Eternals were born to. I was like, what?
Is it worse than there being like a trade dispute on like a planet?
Well, the trade dispute, at least you sort of followed it. Yeah. This one, I was just like, what? I don't even. Joe turned to me and just went, I don't know what that was about, and I said, nor do I. It's given me nothing. That, because I'm sure if you go back to it now, having watched the film, you go, oh right, I get it now. Because that's what that all means. It's like, the opening to Dark Souls, and you go, oh, there's that character. They were all referenced in the start of the game. Yeah. It was like this for
well, but that's one of the problems with this film, I think.
I've got a summary at the end.
It's
just shut up. You wait until the end, boy. Right, so these are the Avengers from another planet. And now that is the initial feeling I had, and they're not really, are they?
Not really, no.
Joe tells me Harry Styles is in this. Okay, so we're waiting for Harry Styles to show up.
A long wait.
Oh, all right, shut up. We know. Why do you do that? Let me play with it a bit. Jesus.
All right, go on.
Cavemen time. This bit silly, this bit. What the fuck? Angelina Jolie is in this. Yeah. This doesn't bode well, does it? Now.
What's wrong with her?
She's not a great actor, is she, Angelina Jolie?
Well, no, but she's not that bad.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? So in this film, I thought, oh my God, she's going to destroy this. Like, this is going to be terrible. And she doesn't, but that's basically because she has no acting to do, I don't think. Oh, that's not fair. Yeah. There's the bits where she snaps or whatever, but...
I know, but even that's all like, she's in a trance.
Right. Initial fight with those dragon things. We now know that they've got the Deviants. I hated that name. I hated it. I hated that name for those things. They look fucking great though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You see, that's one of the other things. I thought the CGI in this wasn't amazing.
Oh
honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about that later. Firstly, I thought the film looked absolutely fantastic. Yeah. But anyway, okay. We've been introduced to around 700 new characters.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
We'll come back to that as a reoccurring point. Salma Hayek, I fell in love with her in 1996, and I'm still in love with her to this day. Like, I mean, I don't know what it is. Salma Hayek is the one for me. I think is the right. You know why 1996, James?
Why is that?
Did you ever see From Dusk Till Dawn?
No, I didn't actually. Never seen that.
Oh my word!
Okay, maybe I need to see that.
She's a delight. Sorry, I very rarely get like this. Right, I'm not a blokey bloke, but I would have been 12. So, and then seeing that scene, I was like, that was like an awakening for me.
Oh, don't say that again.
I know. And she still looks beautiful in this film. I don't know. Right, London again. The tax breaks are still going on, James.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Also, this bit's weird though. Like, I don't know why they're holding a class in the British Museum. Yeah, I don't understand.
We said that. Why is there a classroom in there? And also, I hated the link throughout. So she's teaching her kids about predators, and then by the end of the film, it's like, no, we have to kill the predators. It's like, oh, shut up. This scene wasn't great. One of them is the teacher banging another teacher, is what I put. Mm-hmm. Oh God. Okay. All right. I've got some problems with the boyfriend.
Well, for the brief time he's in the film, and then
at the end of it, it's like, oh no, he's really important, and I'm like, why? Okay. So then they're walking along the river or whatever, and then the monster shows up again. This is the Deviants.
Didn't you see that bit with the artifact as well, with the earthquake, where she turns?
What was
that
the earthquake
thing to dust?
about?
Well, it's supposed to be the emergence of the deviants again. I think that's what the earthquake was about.
Right.
But you know,
okay.
like she stopped that thing from falling on that girl.
Yeah.
And like by turning it to dust.
That's right. That was
and
cool.
it looked like it was like a priceless artifact. And it's like, did nobody like be? Yeah, where's the priceless artifact?
No one cared.
That was
definitely a fossil. It looked like one of those
like a
fossils. No, it looked like the fossil from Animal Crossing when you take it to Blathers.
Yeah, it looked like a
and then
trilobite.
he goes in the valued. I don't know what that is, but it looks like the one from Animal Crossing, James.
Yeah, there's a trilobite.
Yeah, the Animal Crossing one. But yeah, she turns it to dust, doesn't she? I thought it looked cool, man. I don't care. You nitpick these films way too much, James.
Oh, you joking?
Yeah, of course I'm joking.
You're just taking it.
Right. So the monsters show up again, don't they? The old deviants of that.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the thing. So Icarus turns up, and and he fights the deviant, and then the deviant and Icarus fly into a bus, and the bus is about to flip over onto that little girl.
Yeah.
And then Cersei. So that's going to be bad. I've written Cersei about 1 million times. Like, isn't that a place in Kent? Is it Cersei on Thames?
Cersei?
Yeah. There's a place in Kent called Cersei. Anyway, right, so Cersei then turns the bus into petals?
Yeah. She turns it into petals.
Here's a question, James. What happened to all the people on the bus?
Do you know, I've got exactly the same thing written down. But then the thing is there was the bus driver.
Yeah,
like,
at the very least, there was the bus
like,
driver in there.
Why is there nobody else on this bus?
No, the bus would have been busy.
Yeah, you'd have
Did you see inside the bus?
Maybe no, you didn't. I think maybe it have been it was out of service.
No,
it was just.
No, I reckon she killed every single one of them. I reckon the bus was rammed, and she's murdered. And she turned them all into petals.
Yeah, because I've written down it. Where are all the people? Why is there only one person on that bus?
But what happened to everyone on the bus? Dead, I assume. Dark is what happened. Boyfriend wants her to change him into giraffes. I mean, tell me about it, mate. We all want to be giraffes, don't we?
No, not really.
What?
Well, why would I want to be a giraffe?
Why would you want to be anything else?
It's annoying, isn't it? Don't you think it'd be annoying to be a giraffe? I know you love them, but
have you seen them? They don't give a shit. They've got it made, mate.
How? They have to... Okay, yeah, if the food's high up. Otherwise, they got to bend down all the time.
The food's always high up, mate. It's not bonsai trees where they live. They're big old ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just chowing down on a tree, looking at everyone like pieces of shit. I'd take that for a life.
I prefer to be a rhino.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't they live in shit?
Well, maybe, but they're really heavy.
Okay. What's heavier, a rhino or a giraffe?
I'd imagine a rhino is.
Really?
Yeah.
Giraffes are massive, though.
Oh, so are rhinos.
Not as big as giraffe. Well, what's heavier?
Go on, just continue.
We need to Google this. This is what's heavier? Heavier, a rhino or, well, I mean, they're not even in the suggested ones. We've got rhino or hippo, elephant. Elephant spelled differently because people... What's different? What's heavier, rhino or giraffe? Here we go.
No.
Oh, it doesn't say.
Oh.
Well, it doesn't say.
Well, it doesn't matter. Let's get on with this.
It doesn't say. Shit. Shame. I think it's a rhino. I've got to say, and then I've put a quote here. We're only allowed to protect humans from these things is a bit of a nonsense, right? I mean, all the other threats. I mean,
come on. Oh, okay, there's also massive. Okay, the thing is, right, is when I first saw this film, this was the thing that everyone always wanted to address. This whole thing of like, well, why didn't they help with Thanos then? Like, why didn't they do? Why were they involved with that? Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and then they're like, oh no, we've got a really good answer for that, a really good reason. I was not satisfied by this.
I was not satisfied by the reason,
especially later on when you start to think about it more. It makes even less sense.
Yeah. Because like I'm sitting there, right, and I'm thinking, okay, they've made the point that war essentially advances technology. Right, that was the point that they were making throughout the film. That any war, there's a reason for it. Not a reason for it because there isn't, but there's it advances technology because that's how it works, right? And they made that point a couple of times. But I was just thinking, no, when the aliens came down and started like ripping into New York, that's not a war there, is it?
No. It's almost an invasion, isn't it? And it's
It did advance their technology, though, James, actually.
only by stealing the alien stuff. But then also the other thing about that is there's a really weird sort of conflict in this film between these ideas, where at one point they're sort of saying we want to ensure the human race grows, so there's more humans and everything.
Yeah.
And then they're also saying we're not supposed to interfere, right?
Yeah.
But then they are interfering constantly.
Well, here we go.
Either with shit technology
Yeah.
or by telling stories.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. They're not keeping
constant
quiet, are they?
interference.
Well, this is like, I've got a couple of points here. I said, also, did half of them get dusted?
Exactly. That's
It's not addressed at all, is it? That was really frustrating. That was really frustrating. If they'd have turned around and said, well, we haven't seen Icarus for a while because he got slain by Thanos and then he come back. That would have been good. Just a line about that. Right, and then I put, also, the emphasis on the obsession they seem to have with humans. Why? It goes against everything Captain Marvel was about, right?
Yeah.
Like, Captain Marvel was like, you're not the most important beings in the fucking galaxy. See you later.
Although these people have been told that this is important because of the mission that they're supposed to be on.
You need to explain the mission to me later, because I didn't quite wrap my head around it.
I'm looking forward to explaining that, because then that makes the Thanos thing make even less sense. But
Okay, fine. Right, Salma talks to some dice guy in the sky. I call him Andrew Dice Clay several times in these notes because I had no other name for him.
It's Arishem. You mean the massive...
Is he called the Celestial?
Yeah, he's a Celestial.
Yeah, he's a Celestial. Yeah, no, I just called him Dice Guy. So that's what I'm going to call him. What's his name?
Arishem.
Right, Phil, that sounds like a place off the M2.
It does, doesn't it? Actually, it does sound like somewhere in Kent.
Yeah. Where are you going to? Oh, we stopped off in Arishem. So we weren't much there, actually. But
Ashton's got a football match down there on the weekend.
Do you want to go out? Do you want to come over to mine? Where do you live, mate? Arishem. No, you're right.
A bit far out, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit far out. We'll stop off on the way through to Margate. Right, okay.
West Kingsdown.
We've gone back in time now. I'm not really sure what's going on. There are so many characters, it's hard to keep up.
No, they keep introducing new ones as well.
Yeah. I'm very beautiful, says Icarus. This was when he was trying to speak another language. Joseph said, yes, he is. And then Harry asked Joe, in front of me, would you rather him or Dad? Joe didn't answer. Joe didn't answer. She went, no, I can't pick. I was like, okay, but I'm here. Right, so then they start. This is when Icarus and Cersei start kissing. Yeah. Right. So this is the scene.
I did warn you about this.
You did.
I did warn you.
You did.
Yeah.
And thankfully, Harry was cringing out so much that he was watching two characters kiss on the TV that he covered his eyes instantly and did not let them look again until we said it was safe to do so. So he missed what happened after that.
That's a relief.
I put, now they're banging. Joe screamed and said, cover your eyes, but he already was. It was fine. When it finished, Harry asked if they were naked. Joe said no, and then he looked over at me and I just nodded. I think that's an important part of growing up, isn't it? Watching a cringy scene with your parents
definitely.
in the front room. Yeah. It's awful.
And everyone sits there all feeling awkward and don't know where to look. And it's just brilliant.
You know what was really weird, right? Because I was just belly laughing throughout that whole thing. Because Harry was felt awkward, and Joe felt like she was screaming and all this sort of stuff. And then I just thought, wasn't it weird, our parents in that situation? You go back one generation, or you go back to when the baby boomers were the parents, how they would just go quiet. There was no laughing, was there?
No.
There was no laughing. There was no joking about it. If there was a sex scene on a film that you were watching as a family, they would just go quiet. That's weird. Why?
That's what I said. Everyone would sit there awkwardly and not know where to look. And then I don't know, did my dad do this? I can't remember. I've always heard people saying your parents be fumbling for the remote, trying to change it over.
Oh, my parents didn't, but they just went quiet, and we were all sitting there just going, what the fuck? Like, why? That just makes it worse, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I loved. I don't know if you. I don't want to steal anyone's material, but Adam Buxton. Have you ever heard about what his dad used to say when he was watching?
I do remember this. But
Yeah, his dad used to always go, "Magnificent eyes," like that, right? About like a woman on the telly. She's got magnificent eyes, and it wasn't until he was older that he realised that he was making that remark to girls with big boobs. So he would just, if they had, she's got magnificent eyes. That's not what he meant. That's not what he meant. Yeah, thankfully I wasn't in that. That's even worse. Right. I've asked Jo Icarus or Thor.
Okay.
And she's refusing to choose. And Harry said, yeah, okay. She was refusing to choose. And Harry said, well, you've seen one of them naked now. So that was...
Does that help?
It didn't help. No, I think she chose Thor in the end, but yeah, apparently it's quite even.
It's got to be Thor every time, isn't it?
Well, because she fell in love with that actor. I can't remember the actor's name, but she fell in love with him during The Bodyguard. He was in the Bodyguard thing, wasn't he?
Oh, really? What,
yeah, it was like it was like an ITV drama thing.
Okay, he's most. I think. See, I know him from Game of Thrones because he was in that.
Right. Yeah, okay, no, she knows him from Bodyguard or whatever it's called. Right, back to present day, and Salma Hayek is eggy bread on the floor. Right, she's dead on the floor. Right, so
what?
Eggy bread.
Or is this like a Cockney slang thing?
I don't know if it's just like we used to say in our house. It's either brown bread or eggy bread. We used to say
brown bread. I get
no eggy bread. Isn't eggy bread from The Clockwork Orange is eggy bread. I can't remember. It might be eggy wiggles. I would like to smash them. I think that was a line from. Anyway, it's not important. Right, saucy, which I think I was supposed to say Cersei, but I've written saucy as in Saucy.
The disrespect you're showing this character. Come on.
I mean, it's not as disrespectful as what Marvel showed this character, is it? Hey, James, what do you really think about it? Hey? What do you think about it by the end of this film? Looks like she's the boss now. It's almost time. So that was the comment she got from Diced. Flashback in time again. Oh, God. I address this stuff later. I mean, okay. They watch a village get taken out. Then Jolie seems possessed and tries to kill everyone. Why am I not... Right, this is a quote.
Hang on. Why did you say Jolie?
Angelina Jolie.
I know, but you went Jolie. You said it as if it was Jolie.
Right, I didn't mean to. Angelina Jolie. That's okay. Jolie. Yeah, so, that's Jolie. Really going to... Okay. Angelina Jolie. Pepper Potts.
Yeah.
Right, in quotes here it says, why am I not surprised that Angelina Jolie has turned bad? Right, and that was, guess who said that?
Was that what you mean out of the three of you?
Yeah, it was Joe. It was Joe.
Yeah.
I said she's still not over the Jennifer Aniston thing. She's genuinely not. She still hates Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, even though they're not together anymore. And you know, I think Jennifer Aniston's doing all right for herself. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she's still fuming over that. It's funny how she just latches onto those stories. Right, Thena. So I've started writing her actual character name now. James, has been progress.
That's good. Not Jolie.
Not Jolie. Wakes up with everyone around her explaining the awful things she's done. And I said I've been here a lot after a night out. I wake up in the morning.
After every Game of the Year show we do.
It's true. It was like that, wasn't it? I still don't know why she was getting possessed.
No, she wasn't. Do you want me to explain this or not?
Not. Wait until the end because it comes up again, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It happens loads. No, explain it now. Sorry, go on.
Okay, so you know how they go on these missions to these planets, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Yes.
But then once the mission is complete, they have their minds wiped.
Yeah, that's right.
Then they will start again.
Is explained, yeah. And they said that's why because she was remembering stuff from previous.
Yeah, basically, the wife
that's
had not
right. I do remember
or whatever, and it was making her remember all the shit, like the bad things they'd done before.
I do. Yeah. I do remember now. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. They fucked up the mind wipe last time.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah, no, I do remember that. Sorry. Joe's just seen that there are another 2 hours left, and she is not happy about it. Right, Irish.
I know. Well, that's the thing. Like, I remember, like when I was watching this time, like you get to about an hour, and you think, okay, well, you look at it, and it's like there's another 2 hours nearly. You're like, I can't. Where are they going with this? Like, how is this going to be?
Yeah,
and it feels so much longer than an hour as well that you've been watching. Like, well, it did for me anyway.
I mean, I'm sort of spoiling the ending, but I didn't think it felt that long.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird, isn't it? No, it's weird. Like, I'm not defending the film, although I might be towards the end of it a little bit, but I didn't really feel like it was massively long. And it is a massively long film, but
it's just, for me, one of the biggest problems with this film is the pacing. Like, it's so
there's bigger problems than that.
Spaces.
I think I've nailed down what the problem is with this film.
Well, this film's got a whole ton of problems.
Right,
but
okay. Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Okay. Right. Irish kid, who we now know is Druig, stops the war, and they are told to go their separate ways. Right. I quite like that bit. It had a good bit of drama. There was a cool fight. It wasn't bad, this whole section.
Well, I like Druig. He's one of the only characters I liked in this, honestly.
Yeah, I was really worried about Druig at the start. I thought he was going to be, here's the brat. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Here's the rebel brat.
He's an interesting character, though.
He is an interesting character. And the connection between Druig and Makari?
Yeah.
Yeah, Makari, Druig and Makari. Oh, mate, that relationship was fucking great. I love the fact that they were trying to push this like love interest, and it felt so shit. And then these two background characters, every time they got together, you were like, yes.
Those two. I'll tell you something about that. Originally, Druig was supposed to be like after Cersei as well. That was what they were going to do, but then they decided not to do that because it wasn't working.
I'm glad they didn't, because man, the whole oh god, I can't remember. Glitch, is it glitch?
Sprite.
Glitch. The whole glitch fancy and Icarus thing just looked a bit odd, didn't it?
Well, that was all like the Peter Pan thing, wasn't it? Like as they explained it.
I hated that. That was weird. Yeah. But also, Sprite, I know she's like 7,000 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
But she did still look like a child, right?
Yeah, but that was the problem, and that's what she didn't like about it.
I know, but also visually, as a visual thing, that's fucking weird, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Right, okay, fine. You know, oh no, she's like fighting, she's actually a grown-up. Yeah, but visually, I'm watching this film now and I'm thinking this is a bit weird that they're trying to take this angle. But anyway, right, back to the present day, Bollywood film. Here's the comic relief.
Yeah.
Kingo has a manager who knows all about the Eternals, apparently. I still don't get why.
That wasn't... I think the whole thing was that he was supposed to be the manager and he told him everything, basically, about his whole life and everything. So, but yeah, that's...
There's a lot of problems with Kingo as a character. However, I do quite like him.
Well, I know, because he was at least entertaining.
He was entertaining. I thought the actor was brilliant throughout. Yeah. Like, the lines were delivered perfectly. Nice bit of comic relief. Very, interesting angle to take. In terms of nitpicking, blimey, you could honestly, what a massive plot hole that character is within this film that they try and fill, but it just makes it worse. Like, when there's you think of something and go, hold on, we'll get to it. Hold on, what about that? And they go, aha, we've thought of that. Look at that. No, but that opens more questions. Right, okay, here we go. We'll get to that. Right. Oh, I get to it now. One thing I don't understand is how no one has ever noticed that they haven't aged in 7,000 years.
Oh, yeah, they try and explain that.
They try, they do. They do.
with a brilliant moustache as well at one point.
Yep. And also, how did they get to look the age they were now from now if they don't age? Yeah, how do they get to that point?
What do you mean? They're not clones, but they're just not machines. But they're
that's it. Yeah. No, they do explain that.
They don't evolve. That's the whole point.
Before this. Shut up. Yeah, but even then, if you're creating robots or clones or whatever, you don't make them look that. Oh no, I suppose you would make them look different to fit in, but then they don't age. I don't know. The whole thing's flawed. Right? They're now using an aging app. And she said it's because we don't age, right? So that's what got in my head. Yeah. Sprite asks how anyone hasn't noticed that he's aged. And Kingo explains or Kingo. Is it Kingo or Kingo?
It's Kingo. Yeah.
Kingo, right? Explains that he keeps playing relatives in various films over the decades.
No, it's supposed to be like his great grandfather,
Right.
his grandfather, that kind of thing.
And I've put no. I don't go for that. I don't go for that.
Why doesn't that work?
Okay, so his great grandfather, right? So he gets to. So every single relative of that age has been in films, been massive, and then gone away and died, and then suddenly the new one comes through.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't really work. But you do get families where it's like generations of people that have like done acting and stuff like that.
Of course you do. But firstly, they don't look identical. Secondly, you tend to follow their careers if they're in massive films until they die, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I weren't going for that one. Although it was quite a funny visual, let's be fair.
I told you, like the boy with the moustache and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. I am, however, feeling this film now. I think I understand what's going on, and it's pretty interesting. That's what I put at this point. I didn't mind this. I didn't mind this film at this point, James.
Mm-hmm.
Gilgamesh, is that how it's pronounced?
Gilgamesh, yeah.
Comes out in a Kiss the Chef apron and instantly becomes my favourite. That goes away. I think Gilgamesh was a bit of a wasted character in this.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
But I think there needed to be a few wasted characters because, my word, there's far too many of them, right?
Yeah. Really. This film could have done with having about 3 or 4 people tops and then focusing on those people. And
I think it should have been 2 people. How about that? The start of the Eternals or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Here's one of my summaries of this film. I should leave it to the end, but it feels like they were trying to do. It feels like they tried to skip to Endgame. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, because this is when I watched it with Chen. This is one of the things she said. It's the same. It's that sort of like the other ones. They all had their own films to like build up who they were, and that kind of stuff. And what made it even more impactful when they all eventually did come together. And it's kind of cool.
Okay, maybe Endgame's like harsh. Maybe Avengers Assemble. Maybe they tried to just skip to that. And you like imagine that you'd just be like Tony Stark and thought, why have they got attitude with each other? What's going on? Yeah,
but that's the thing, because with this also, then they have all those like the bits where they have to go to every single character and say, oh, what have they been up to recently? And it is this kind of like, oh, it's this guy.
Yeah, but there's 80 of them.
Exactly.
So it takes forever.
Who's this guy? I don't really care.
Also, you're at the end of the film. Describe any of these characters.
Yeah, that's
like
also,
describe Tony Stark. Oh, well, he's an arrogant, billionaire who thinks he knows better than everyone else, and that's his major flaw, is that he can't see anyone else's point of view because he's so driven in his focus, right? And what about Thor? He's a god, but he, again, very arrogant, but in a very different way. He's trying to be noble, but he never quite nails it. And then by the end, what about Gilgamesh? He's got like a glowy arm and he can punch hard. Oh, is that it? Yeah.
But that's the thing. I think the only characters here, like I think Druig is one. Druig's a character who there's development, but also there is something to him.
Yeah.
Like he has ideas about what's going on. And belief system and everything.
Icarus, but it's not very good.
Yeah, and Kingo as well. I think actually, he's incredibly shallow. No, he's incredibly shallow.
Yeah, I know, but then so's the character.
Yeah.
Okay, right. I got Athena has still got the hump then. I don't know what that's about. She's probably kicking off with everyone again. Discussion about the Avengers and who's going to lead them now. Icarus wants to. I put, please don't. please don't, Marvel, but that's all been sorted. It's time for the emergence to begin. Dicehead is out and about. Right, so this is where Dicehead gets his body once Cersei gets called up to speak to Dicehead, right?
Yeah, and then it explains the whole thing.
This whole bit I don't get. Like,
it's really simple.
Right, okay. Really simple. Well, let's get to it. Looks like he wants to destroy Earth, right? So here's my view of it. Right, something about Celestials creating new galaxies, right? Everything dies except them. The Eternals, because they're never alive. Not sure how they got to that, but okay. Harry is completely confused. So this is all during this explanation, right? Harry is completely confused, and in quotes has put, "Ah, man, I have no idea what's going on." And then he left a gap and went, "I guess I should have read that text at the start." I was like, mate, I read it. I still don't know.
That would have helped.
Right.
So,
okay.
Do you want me to explain what this is?
No, let me try and explain it.
Go on.
So, Celestial's all about evolution, right?
In what way?
In evolving, like always progressing, life forms always progressing. And you get to a point, I think, this is a little bit of my opinion as well. I think the Celestials look at civilization, say Earth, right? So look at Earth and say they've got about as far as they can. They need to be wiped out. The energy is taken to create a new galaxy. Is that right?
No.
No, okay, go on.
Okay,
Go on.
right. It's okay. So what this is there's these beings called Celestials, which Arisham is one of these.
Yeah, the dice man.
And then, so for millions of years, for like a really long time, what they do is they plant a seed inside a planet. Okay?
Right.
And then what happens is that the population on the planet of intelligent life creates energy that then allows the Celestial to be born. And then as the Celestial's born, it destroys the planet because it, like, you know, climbs out of the planet, basically.
Oh, right, okay.
But then this creates, like, a massive, like, rush of energy and, like, you know, sort of an explosion of energy.
That explains something. Okay, all right, okay, yeah,
And then-
massive rush of energy, yeah.
And then that creates more life elsewhere, is what this does.
What?
So that creates life elsewhere as well. Like, not on that planet, because obviously it annihilates everything.
Right.
But it creates, like, you know, the conditions for more life to be created.
Right.
Now, the whole point of of the Eternals being sent to to Earth is because they want to make sure that the Deviants don't destroy all of the intelligent life on the planet.
But he says he sent the Deviants down there.
No. Originally, the Deviants were sent to prevent other things from, like, killing all the sentient life on the planet, you see. But then they went rogue, and then they ended up...
Right, that's
killing,
the piece of the puzzle that I'm missing. So, because he mentions that he sends the Eternals down, and he mentions that he sends the Deviants down, right?
Yeah. And the
in
Deviants
that
are a
speech.
fuck-up.
And I'm thinking, right, okay, that's the bit that I was missing.
Yeah.
That's the bit where I was like, what? So why are the Deviants attacking the Eternals then? That makes no sense. But it does make sense now because they've gone rogue, and despite the fact that the Eternals shouldn't have even needed to be there if the Deviants hadn't gone rogue, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Right,
and so then also this is also the reason why the Eternals don't change, because the Deviants, the problem with them was that they evolved and they changed. And they became what they became.
Yeah.
And so Asheron was like, okay, well, the Eternals, we're going to make sure they don't change. There is no evolution with them. They can't evolve. They can't change to prevent this from happening again. But you see, this is the point at which I was like, well, hang on. The whole thing with Thanos makes even less sense now with them not involving, because this is happening all over, like, the universe, right? They're planting these seeds all over the place, right?
Yeah.
And they're trying to stop, you know, and they want to make sure that intelligent life is, like, teeming, like, to create the conditions so a Celestial can be born, right?
Right.
Thanos comes along and, like, wipes out half of, like, people in, you know, the entire universe or whatever.
Yeah.
Surely that's a pretty big threat to a Celestials being born.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you have thought the Eternals would be like, oh, we ought to stop this. This isn't good. This is completely stopping, you know, like the
but
Celestials' plan.
they didn't know, did they? Because it wasn't part of their plan, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know, but it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, even if you take all of that shit away, yeah, it doesn't really make sense. There's a lot of this film that does make sense, and my problem is, we'll get to it at the end. Because I think I'll summarise it at the end.
So the emergence is the time when there's enough
time
life on the planet to support the birth of the Celestial and the way, and then that.
Because I was thinking, why is Diced? So the Diced that they keep getting going up to?
Yeah.
What is special about that one?
Well, he's Arisham. I think he's the judge. He's like one of them who, like, is coordinating the whole continuation of the Celestials. You know,
this is what's hilarious, because I thought he was dead at the end.
No,
I thought, why is that one, like, on Earth, and why have they frozen it? And then I was like, well, is this other one coming along? But that, I'm assuming the one that comes along at the end is him.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Fuck.
And the one on Earth is the one that was being born. You know, it was like.
I'm with you now. I get that. Like, I think. And my biggest problem is that I was still confused about what character was what by this point. So adding in all that stuff as well was just like, look, I'm lost now. I'm lost. And when you get lost, your mind wanders. And
this is the problem, because this is like the main point of the whole film, though. Like, as in, like, the motivation for why the Eternals are there, the fact that actually they're not like heroes or anything really. They're just like making sure that the cattle are raised, like enough, like on Earth, to make sure that there's the right conditions are like happen. They're not there to save anybody, only so that then something else can be born.
Yeah, but they don't know that though.
No, they don't. Although, and that's why they have their memory wiped each time, because and that's why Joe Lee then ends up like going crazy and like killing everybody or trying to kill everybody because it's like a memory of that.
Joe Lee then?
That was on purpose. Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Of course it was.
Give me that.
Go
on. Don't give me any of that. Why do you pass that off?
Because it was a joke.
No, it wasn't. You're not intelligent enough to do jokes like that. Right, it's time for the dice head is out. Right, have we done that? Something about Celeste. Right, we've done all that. Right. Kingo is talking about the directing some internet content to the Irish kid, Druig, and that gets tonight's first laugh. I mean, we're a long way into this film. That was our first laugh.
It's not a very funny film.
It's not the funniest film. Kingo talking to Sprite, and his manager is filming. Sprite breaks the camera. That gets our second laugh. So a couple of gags in here that we quite liked when Sprite goes over. I don't get the camera guy, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess comic relief, but he's barely in it.
Yeah, I think he's definitely supposed to be the comic relief.
When he's in it, he's good. Yeah. But he wasn't in it a lot. So it was it just seemed weird that he was just hanging out with the Eternals.
I think he's supposed to be comic relief and their link with humanity, but that doesn't really work.
That doesn't really work because he treats him like shit. And okay, the Deviants show up. It's fight time. Wait, if the big dice of this is, I'm going to make myself and look like an idiot here because I didn't know. There we go. Wait, I don't really even read this out. Wait, if the big dice man sent the Eternals and the Deviants, why are the Deviants attacking the Eternals? I'm sure there's a reason, but I've forgotten. Okay. Angelina now turning bad again. There's way too much going on in this bit. There's just way too much. I'm like, right, so who's fighting what now, and where is everyone, and why is she turning bad, and what is going on? Kingo shoots the Deviant's head off. Did you get that? I did, sir. Another laugh. Yeah, I like that bit. Where he shoots the Deviant's head off? Yeah,
he's on the ground, doesn't it? And then it all falls on him as well. But
loving that. The fights with the CGI stuff is really impressive, to be fair. The film at the very least looks really good. Yeah, it's weird. The fighting stuff with those CGI animal things, I thought that looked really realistic.
See, I didn't. I thought really? the creatures didn't. I thought they looked very CGI to me. The other stuff, though, like Icarus flying and all that kind of thing, the lasers, I thought that looked brilliant.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm the absolute opposite. I thought the flying stuff looked shit. There's one bit where he's just he's clearly just standing in front of the camera, and someone's chatting to him, but he's supposed to be floating in the air, but they're only showing the head and shoulders of him. And I was like, you're just standing closer to the camera. That's all you're doing there. Okay. We disagree on that bit. Okay. Cersei turns the Deviant into a tree. Okay.
Yeah.
What was that bit about then?
Well, that was they thought. Well, she thought she couldn't do things like that, as in she couldn't transform like a deviant into something else, and then she did, and she turned it into a tree. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and that's I guess that's why she turns it to ice. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gilgamesh gets killed. Deviant turns into Ultron. It just reminded me of Ultron. Yeah. Oh no, he's not dead. Oh yeah, he is dead.
Well, he turns into Ultron, but much less interesting. And
no swagger. No swagger. But he doesn't actually die, does he? He just resets, right?
Yeah.
They were never alive. I'm a bit confused here. So when an Eternal dies on Earth, it doesn't matter because it's not actually dead. They just use the clone to create another one.
Yeah, they can make new ones. Yeah, they can make new ones.
Although it does matter because they've been alive for 7,000 years. And
so they got all the memories and all the...
Yeah, that all goes out the window.
Yeah.
Then we cut to 1945 Hiroshima. I said, this is a bit strong, isn't it, for this film?
Yeah, it was a bit.
I thought it was a bit tasteless, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, the whole thing with this character, though, with the whole technology thing, I thought was really weird, honestly.
I thought it was good, right? But I thought you didn't need to do that. You didn't need to make him the guy that creates the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Because that is just I think it's a little bit tasteless.
Yeah.
And especially when he was in the rubble going, what have I done?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why did you go there? What the fuck is this bit about?
Yeah.
Really odd decision, this.
But also, as I said, this whole thing of like giving them like, supposedly developing technology and like giving it to humans and stuff, it doesn't make any sense.
It don't
like,
make
in
much
terms
sense,
of
does it?
like, go on.
Superman reference in a Marvel film, James?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
They're allowed to do that, are they? I guess they are.
Yeah, I think there was one or two in this film actually. References to like, I think there was one to Batman as well. No, yeah, there was. There was a reference where somebody was likened to Alfred from Batman.
Oh, I didn't notice that bit. Okay.
I think that was Kingo's valet was likened to being like Alfred as well. So yeah, there was that.
Alfred.
Yeah, from Batman.
Oh yeah. Right, okay. Fastos asked to join the Eternals again. Icarus smashes the table. But it's a good gag. I'm up for that.
That was a trailer gag. That was.
Yeah, it was a trailer gag. I saw that in the trailer. Why was his boyfriend absolutely fine about it being smashed up?
Like, didn't seem bothered, did they?
Boyfriend just walks in and just goes, "Yeah, no, I think you should go."
Well, he's really good with the tech, isn't he? So probably the IKEA stuff's like no problem.
Yeah, but why have they got the IKEA stuff in the first place if he's really good at tech? Get me one of those tables with the USBs in it so I can plug my phone in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I feel when you go around someone's house and you get really jealous that they've got those USB plugs? You know, the normal plugs, but they got USB things.
Didn't you put? I put all those in myself like recently.
Right, and I just think, that is you absolute. I'd love that. And then USB-C comes out, and they're all smug again.
That is very irritating.
There you go, mate. How's your old tech that you've installed in your house? I'm a very bitter man. Very bitter man. There's been a long period now without anything really entertaining happening. Hopefully it picks up. So that summarises it.
That's what I'm saying. It's really plodding.
Yeah, that bit was a bit plodding, yeah. Makari now. So now this is where they go to Makari's house or cave or whatever she's been sitting in. And she's been hiding and reading everything for some reason. Yeah. I wonder if she's a Tom Clancy fan. It must have.
Or Tom Clancy.
Tom Clancy, yeah, but I know. Well, I'm from where I'm from. It's I just imagine the amount of shit she's read as well. Like, how far does she get into a book before she goes, you know what, fuck this? Icarus says, "I'm not who you think I am," and I shout, "But I don't know who you are." You haven't got a character yet, Icarus.
No, he hasn't, and neither has Cersei really either. Like,
so when
neither of them have really got them.
Icarus does the heel turn, absolutely didn't care.
Yeah,
because I didn't care about the character. I didn't know anything about the character.
That was the point, though, where I was like, "Oh, okay, this character. At least there's something interesting about him. That there's a a reason for him being there."
I suppose you're right, but then he flip flops back for no reason, doesn't he?
Oh no, it's because he loved her, David.
No, come on, mate. Flashback to 6 days ago. Oh, Icarus knew about the end of the world. Icarus is going to kill Ajax. Oh no, he's showing us. Oh my god, this bit. Look, I am not like. Oh man, how do I show my frustration for this bit without?
Do you mean the bit where she gets chucked off, right?
No, before then. Where he seems to suggest that the deviants are back because of global warming.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I am a believer of global warming, and I think, more should be done to sort it out. But in this film, I just kind of thought, why are we doing the global warming film in this bit? Like, why is that? Like, in the shittest way? And it's not even like the true horrors of global warming. It's like, the ice has melted and now the monsters are back, guys. Yeah, like looking at the video, driving home from the cinema, are you? Think about those monsters in the ice. Shut up.
Well, you see, there's like, all right, Greta Thunberg.
Yeah, but this is the problem. I really like Greta Thunberg. I think, the way she absolutely tore down Andrew Tate is one of the greatest things on the internet.
You sound like Piers Morgan, David.
This is the... shut up, James, because I'm not. But I was kind of like, oh, God, I do sound like one of those guys. But there was far, I mean, it was just like... the global warming is setting the monsters free. I think because it's so stupid that it just made me go, oh, fuck off. Let me just go and get some links and set it out my window, just empty a can. Okay. Oh, he does kill her. Well, he chucks her down to the deviants anyway. The biggest problem with this movie so far is that the plot is complicated, which is fine on its own, completely fine on its own. But when we're trying to get to grips with this many new characters, it's become a complete head fuck.
Yeah. But also, that when he chucks her off and then she falls down there, how is it there was fortuitously a shotgun just like lying next to her?
That was weird, wasn't it?
And also completely pointless because she gets killed anyway.
Yeah, I know.
So why did they have to have her firing a shotgun?
I don't get the shotgun bit. But also, it's like, you kind of like, that felt like it should have been an amazing moment. Like, again, going back to the Avengers, the struggle between Hawkeye and Black Widow for who was going to die, sacrifice himself for the Soul Stone. Really important. This... Icarus killing Ajax. It's like, okay, well, I don't really know them.
But that's exactly, we spent no time with them, like through the in the film.
Yeah,
so it's like,
not only have we not had the films leading up to this, the film that they are in leading up to this moment, they're barely in because there's 800 characters.
See, they should have done a much better job of explaining like what the mission actually was. Like, you know, they could have done this a lot better.
Yeah, they could have done it better. You're absolutely right. Icarus has gone full bad now. This is where he turns on the rest of him. The cameraman being sent home, we all like that guy. We were quite sad because he was kind of like, oh, I'm going to miss you all. Like, it was a weird moment, but we kind of liked it. Everyone rallying around Cersei. Phastos takes the little ball thing out of her for the Unimind, which is, I mean, did that make you think of this? They even do that line. Uni means one and mind means mind. That was a nod to The Simpsons, right?
I don't know. It
must be. It's so obvious. We were sitting there and going, uni means one, rail means rail. Oh no, it's mono means run, you idiot.
That's right.
Fucking hell. Yeah, mono means one and rail means rail. That's what I was thinking at that time. Anyway, Athena versus Icarus. Come on, let's get some proper good fighting going. It doesn't really happen, does it?
No.
Volcano erupts, and after Icarus destroys the Eternals ship. What was the ship about?
Well, that was the ship that they come on.
Right, and it's just been there the whole time.
Yeah, and I think they were going to use that as like the place where they could all come together to do the Unimind thing, but then he destroys it and it's
right.
Gone.
Oh, right. Okay, they were going to go out there and do that. Yeah, okay, fine. The Eternals look like the Power Rangers here. This is where they've all got their different colour suits on. The suits look crap. Joe thinks Cersei is going to turn the volcano into a tree. She's not that far off, actually.
No,
Ultron Deviant shows up. I'd sort of forgotten about this guy.
I know, a completely wasted character, like completely wasted. It was like, it's like you've gone to the trouble of turning a deviant into like something which is like a sentient being, that's got a motivation, that's explaining what it's doing, but then don't use it at all.
No,
what was the point of that?
Loads of the film, but there's so much to keep track of, and that's the problem. Yeah. I'm trying to keep track of. Honestly, sitting watching this in my front room, it wasn't too bad because we were all talking to each other. Okay, I missed a load of stuff, but we were all chatting to each other and we were making jokes about it and, keeping ourselves amused. I can't imagine what this film was like watching it in the cinema. Yeah. Did you go to the cinema?
No, I didn't see it in the cinema. I saw this on Disney Plus, I think it was, when it first came out.
If you're listening to this and you went to the cinema to see this film, I am so sorry. You must have been sitting there going, what the fuck is going on here?
I spent a lot of this film trying to like it, honestly. Like when you're watching something and you're just like, oh, I could see what they're trying to do here. It's not that bad. There's some interesting ideas, interesting concepts and stuff. But I felt quite differently about it the second time around.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm never watching this film again. Right. Okay. Right. Anyway, he's super powerful now. Talk about the Ultron guy. Right, okay. How many pages have we got left? Another 2 pages. All right. Sprite goes full Loki and tricks her, then stabs Cersei in the back. Yeah. Joe says she did it because she fancies Icarus.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that's actually right. Yeah, well done, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Druig then batters her with a rock. That's fine. Then Athena versus Ultron continues. Joe's rooting for her. Believe me, this is a big deal. Joe supporting an Angelina Jolie character. That was like the breakthrough moment. Maybe Joe has released her demons and that she doesn't hate Angelina Jolie anymore. Maybe that's, maybe a big turning point.
Are they still together, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie?
No. I mean, not only have I mentioned that on this podcast.
Yeah.
I have mentioned that on this podcast, James, that they're not together anymore. Yes.
I wasn't listening. But okay.
Yeah, that's probably about 4 years ago now. They broke, maybe 5. Yeah, it's a really messy breakup, wasn't it? They were nasty to each other. Athena looks to be done for, then slices up Ultron. We cheered. Why are we cheering? Are we enjoying this? We cheered, but like thinking back on it, I was like, who cares? And it's really that easy to kill.
Yeah.
Because it just had its guard down while it was sucking the life out.
He just let his guard down, sliced it up, and that was it. So that's the end of like one of the main sort of like what would have been one of the main bad guys in the film. That we don't know anything about.
This film's lost us again. Volcanoes erupt. She turns.
And there's still an hour to go.
She turns the floor gold for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Icarus seems to be sorry for everything now. Not really sure why.
It's because he loves her, David. That's why.
That's not the reason. There must have been a reason why he suddenly changed his view.
That's the only reason I could come up with.
But
honestly.
he was in love with her throughout, so that makes no sense.
It made him really realise. He really realised at that point that he loved it. I think. I don't know why else, honestly.
Now they're all getting beamed up. Oh, this is the Unimind thing, is what I've got. So they froze the Dice Man. No, they didn't.
Yeah.
They froze the new guy that was coming out. Oh God, this really is bad. Going back to this, I'm not sure why Icarus suddenly changed. If I'm honest, we've discussed that. Harry asked my favourite question that he's ever asked through any of these films at this point.
What the hell was that?
No. So when's Harry Maguire going to show up? We've had to explain to him that he misheard that it was Harry Styles that was going to be in this film, not Harry Maguire. He's absolutely gutted now. He was like, what? I said, Harry Maguire's not in the film. Harry Styles is in this film.
Imagine that. Harry Maguire.
Oh, what? I wanted Harry Maguire to be in it. It would be really weird if Harry Maguire, the football player, showed up in the Eternals film, although it is quite fitting for his current, persona.
He's on his way to Aston Villa now, but go on.
And I did turn around to Sarah Jo and said, where the fuck is this Harry Styles then? And she went, I think he's in the end. Right, okay. Icarus flies to the sun. Oh, fuck off. That's a bit on the nose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Come on.
Just a bit, yeah.
It was a bit cringe, that. Yeah. I didn't like that. But he's dead now, right?
Yeah,
he's dead. Gone, yeah. He just flows. What did he just fly to the sun for?
I mean, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, what was the point?
You're not sacrificing everything.
Yeah.
Anything. You just flew into the sun.
I mean,
why?
Was it just shame or something?
Yeah, just like, I guess. Yeah. I mean, we've all wanted to catapult ourselves into the sun when we've shown, when we've been an idiot in front of someone we fancy, but...
Yeah.
And also Icarus flying to the sun. Fuck off. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Icarus at all, really. Sprite being turned into a human. Not sure how, but that's nice. Yeah, how does that work?
Okay, so that was Cersei said, she still had loads of energy flowing through her because of the Unimind thing, and she thought she could use that to make her into a human. I don't know how that works or why that works, but it worked for the plot. So
Joe at this point went, Sprite better not turn into Harry Styles. I was like, okay. 2 weeks later, so the emergence has been stopped.
Yeah,
they've been right. Oh, this bit was crazy, right? Okay, Eternal's hanging out in Phastos' house. No idea why. Considering he didn't want them there in the first place, it seemed a bit rude that they've suddenly made that their base. Athena using her staff to get fruit down. This is when she's in the kitchen or whatever with the kid. Yeah. I hated that. This
was all
okay, you're not allowed
what this was?
What's this?
This was they were trying to do their shawarma scene
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
do you know what I mean? It's like they were trying to be all like, you know, like, oh look, we're funny actually.
Yeah,
it's like
Druid and Makari set off to find more Eternals. I hope the next film is all about them and none of these others. Cersei chatting to boyfriend, then suddenly the dice shows up. I put in caps. Why hasn't this ended?
But not okay. But that I thought that image of like Arashov,
horrific,
like, appearing as an image in the sky,
awful,
was fucking cool.
I hate it. I hate it,
incredible,
James. No,
though. I
hate it. I hate it. Like,
why? It looked incredible.
Because it scares the shit out of me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm like with scale.
Exactly.
I hate scale. So cool. I hate scale. It's like when something is too big. You know, when you stand at the bottom of the shard and you look up, it makes me want to vomit. I hate it.
I absolutely love that. I looked at that and I thought that's incredible.
Yeah, it scares the life out of me. That. Yeah, where it was just like looking down at the fucking. Oh. Yeah.
It's like this massive, like God or something. Just
but
like
also, it looked like there was going to be like another big build up to another massive fight at this point. Because I was like, oh my God, is this really going to keep going? I put, it's another dice head. No, it's not another dice head, Dave. It's the same one we've seen throughout the film, mate. Don't worry about it. That's all been explained to you. This one is going to judge the humans, not this one. The one that we've seen throughout the film is going to judge the humans. What was this all about? So he's going away for a little while, then he's going to come back and judge the humans on the memories that they've created.
Yeah, that also didn't make that I don't know why Arisham's going to do that. It didn't make a huge amount of sense, like that whole thing. But this is also because this ending was recut.
Right, go on.
Well, originally what was going to happen was at the end of the film, they were going to go off and then the Eternals were going to have their memories wiped all over again.
That makes sense.
And they were just going to be sent to another planet. But apparently when they showed it to test audiences, they didn't like it because they thought it was too bleak and sad.
I'm pretty sure they didn't like any of the film, surely.
No, but that didn't go down well. So instead they did this other thing, which makes I don't think it makes much sense, honestly. I mean, the idea is that he's supposed to come back to judge humans, I guess, because that's what he is. He's Arisham, the judge. Not Arisham, as I said earlier, but Arisham. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But
what the fuck was that all about?
It was
what
redone.
The fuck? I've got so many questions. I think we've covered them all.
Yeah.
Mark out of 10 from Harry was a 5.
That's okay.
So it's one of his last. Best bit, Harry said when it ended. Dark. I didn't absolutely hate this, to be honest. It wasn't a terrible film. It's just a really messy one. Motivations went out of the window and things just sort of happened. Still, it looked fantastic and effects were cool. It's low down on my list, but not bottom. Mm-hmm. It also felt like it was trying to do an Avengers film, but without any of the history of any of the characters, and that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then I've put post credits. Little drunk dwarf shows up to introduce someone to Thena, brother of Thanos, Harry Styles, Star Fox, Eros. Where's his dodgy chin?
I don't know. I don't know what this is about. I mean, I do obviously because he's supposed to be the brother of Thanos, and he's also supposed to be an Eternal as well. I don't know how that works. But
how's that work?
I don't know. But then also, I mean, when I saw this, like when Chen first saw this, she was like, "Oh, it's Harry Styles," and I don't even know who the guy is. Honestly, I don't know hardly anything about him.
Don't lie, James.
No, I'm not joking. Honestly, I don't know anything about this person. I know he was in Dunkirk, which I saw.
Right. Okay. Let's try and work it out. Let's see. I think you're talking bollocks. You're trying to be
honestly,
one of these.
I don't. Honestly,
how do you not? Like, he's insanely famous.
For what though?
What do you mean for what?
He's in Dunkirk.
A pop star. He's like a massive pop star.
What? Yeah, but what? Okay, what group's he in?
So, have you heard of One Direction?
Yeah,
of course you have. Yeah, he was in One Direction. I don't know all
their names, David.
And then he went off and become a solo artist and has had like an insanely successful career.
I don't follow One Direction though.
No, but you don't need to. If you've turned the television on, you've probably heard of Harry Styles.
But I don't watch TV that much. I don't watch like Top of the Pops and stuff.
I don't know, man. You Top of the Pops. Fuck you. This is you trying to be cool. You know Harry Styles.
No, honestly, I don't know what he was famous for. Honestly, I know he was.
You knew he was a singer. Don't give me any of that. You thought he was an actor that's been in 2 films and everyone cares about him because he's been in 2 films.
Yeah. He was in that.
You shut up. Look, I don't like Harry Styles' music. You can't look at him and say he's not like talented. Like and you could see why people absolutely adore Harry Styles. And you know, when I heard he was in Dunkirk, I was like, oh, fuck off, come on. And he was excellent in it. You know,
I don't even remember him in it.
He's really good in it, James. Yeah, he is good. And he was fine in this when he shows up. I just didn't. I was like, why is Thanos got a bro? Okay, fine. I'm on board with it. I'm on board with this, to be honest with you. Yeah. So let's see when he comes back. Post credits 2, finally seeing who the boyfriend is now, because there was that weird moment where he was like, "Oh, I've got to tell you about the history of my family. Actually, I've got something going on," and I was like, why have they tried to make him into something? And then they have the thing where he shows up and he opens up, he sees a big sword.
Yeah.
And then, what's he says? Are you sure you're ready for that?
Well, no, that wasn't him saying that. That
there was something in the background, yeah.
So that other person in the background, I mean, this is actually pretty cool because the other person in the back, do you know the character Blade?
Yeah, from the films.
Yeah, like the Daywalker vampire. Like,
yeah, I'd heard. Yeah, they're doing a Blade film, aren't they?
They are.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't know Blade was a comic book character up until recently when they were talking about this new Blade film and they're going, oh my God, it's a Marvel. And I was like, what?
Yeah,
Marvel?
Yeah, he's a Marvel character.
Yeah, well. Okay.
And so that was the voice of Blade, like saying that.
How are we supposed to know that?
You're not. It's just it came out later. They explained.
What do you mean it came out later?
Well, no, because obviously everyone was like, well, who's that? Like, who's that voice? And then it was credited as I've forgotten the name. Oh, this is terrible. I wrote this down earlier. It's Mahershala Ali who's going to be Blade, and it was like, so everyone knew that it's Blade, you know, saying that. Because that character, like Dane, he's going to be the Black Knight. Like, that's his character.
What's the Black Knight?
Well, he's another character, but I don't really know much about him, honestly.
Isn't that Batman's?
No, it's the Dark Knight.
Right, okay. Okay, the Black Knight.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, they're just introducing another character, isn't it? It's the thing, you know?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, this wasn't a great film. I think visually, I think it was really impressive. I think some of the ideas around it, some of the characters worked. There's just way too much. There's way too much with not enough groundwork. I think there's potential in the future. We know who the Eternals are now, so we don't need to know who the Eternals are now. So when they show up in a future film, is that good? That could be good.
Mm.
No?
Well, I don't want to say anything until.
Oh, you're kidding me! We're going to see him again.
When we've seen no. When we finish like Wakanda Forever, then I'll give you a rundown of like all of this stuff.
Okay.
Because this is like there's a lot of issues.
Well, Joe's told me she's heard there's a second Eternals film.
There isn't.
Oh right, okay.
At least not yet.
Okay, they've not announced another Eternals film.
It's been talked about, but it's not on the slate.
Do you reckon they're not going to do it because everyone hated this one?
Well, this is the thing, right? This film introduces a whole ton of like plot points and like potential, new characters and all sorts of stuff. But then in all the films that are like the later films in Phase 4 that we're going to see, never mentioned again. Nothing's ever mentioned again. Yeah, there's no mention of any of this stuff.
It's like, how do you have a battle on Earth now without the Eternals being involved?
Well, not just that, but also there's a massive celestial sticking out the side of the planet. And it's mentioned in one of the TV series, like very briefly,
right?
In She-Hulk, but then apart from that, nothing. So don't know don't know where they're going now with this. It's kind of crazy.
God, there's it's a weird.
This is what's so weird about Phase 4 because this film felt like the one where maybe they're now building this up, like the Celestials or whatever are going to be the new threat. That would make sense. It's going to be something like that in the future. Yeah. But yet there's been nothing at all. And it feels like Marvel have forgotten they even made this film. It's really strange.
Or they're struggling to find a hook to rest a bunch of new films on.
Yeah.
Right.
They've already announced what they're doing for Phase 5 and 6. It's all
wow,
there.
really?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole plan.
How much of it is TV shows though?
Not a lot. Well, there are a lot of TV shows, but it's also, there's more films as well. There's like a whole ton of things.
Okay, so this one was a miss for me, I think, ultimately. I don't think it was a disaster of a film. especially visually. I thought it was really interesting to look at. I'm glad I've got it out of the way. But yeah, now we're extremely excited to move on.
Yeah,
because we're going back to Spider-Man, right?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we got Spider-Man next.
We are, I think after watching that last night, Harry just wanted to watch the trailer, so we watched the trailer. Again, it looks like Spider-Man is not in his own film, is not the main draw of that film. No, the last one, it was all, was it the last one? It was all Iron Man? And then the first one was all Iron Man and Spider-Man.
The second one, you like the second one?
Second one was great.
It was much more focused on him. On Spider-Man.
Yeah. The third one is like a Doctor Strange film as well. So I'm looking forward to that. But I am looking forward to this film. And I remember, as I said, this was it. This was the film.
This was the one, wasn't it?
That come out, and we were iffing and butting between this or Ghostbusters Afterlife, and we went with Ghostbusters. So now we'll find out if we made the right decision or not. Well, I mean, clearly we made the wrong decision, but it would have been weird to have jumped in at this point.
It would have been very weird. And it would have been, this film would have been utterly confusing if you'd have gone to watch it, I think, in many ways.
But you told me at the time that you didn't need to just go and watch it. You told me to go and watch this film.
No, I think now I know like how you've seen, what you've seen and what you know about other Spider-Man stuff and everything. I think, this is the right time now to watch this. Yeah. I'm looking forward to this one. This Spider-Man No Way Home. It'd be good to watch that
I'm
again.
looking forward to this one too, James. Yeah. And thanks for letting me chew your ear off for over an hour about the Eternals.
Yeah, well, at least it was shorter than the film.
What was your latest viewing like?
You mean the one
what did you do? Did you watch it on your fucking phone again, or did you
I watched it on TV. I watched it on the TV. I mean,
did anyone watch it with you?
Chen came in and out, watched it sometimes. Asher came in and looked at it and said, "This is rubbish," and walked out.
Fair enough.
So that was that. And I watched it on TV. It was. I did regret watching it in one go because I got to that hour mark and I was like, I can't believe there's another 2 hours of this to go. And
it's weird, isn't it? I think maybe we were just in the right mood to watch a movie, so we sat and we watched the whole thing and really enjoyed it. Not really enjoyed it, that's a lie. But we sat and we were happily sat through the whole thing, But I think how long's the next one?
The next one's shorter because this was the second longest film in all of them. After
Endgame, right?
After Endgame, but then now it's not because Wakanda Forever is longer than that.
No, really?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Have you seen Wakanda Forever?
I have. Yes.
Okay. I'm kind of pumped for the next few films. So there's a big debate. So we've got here we go. Let's just go through it. Right. So our last 4 episodes are going to be on Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, Spider-Man, and that's like an hour. Sorry, 148 minutes.
Right. Okay. So then we got the Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
I wouldn't watch that with Harry.
I'm hearing 2 or 3 different. I'm hearing some people saying it'll be fine, some people who won't.
I mean, I watched it with Asher, and he was all right. He wasn't that bothered by it, but it is probably the most sort of visually disturbing film I think out of all of them. I'd say.
He's not a big fan of Doctor Strange, so maybe I'll get through it anyway. In fact, actually, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to watch it, and then make a decision whether you can watch bits of it or whatever.
Yeah, it's mostly the ending parts that are quite a bit. They go a bit. I mean, but he watched WandaVision, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so it follows on from that. It really follows on from that. It's linked. It's linked to that series. So that's why it's good that you've seen that now because a lot of the Doctor Strange stuff will make much more sense.
Yeah, we've also started. I should have said we've also started Hawkeye. Yeah, watched the first 2 episodes. Really like it.
I know. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant.
I've been texting you during it because we're not doing calls on it, and we've only 2 episodes in, and there's one bit that just made me go, "Oh, come on! Why did they spend 20 minutes on this LARPing scene?" And all it was give me the suit. There you go. There's the suit. Completely pointless. Didn't add anything.
It felt like a side quest in a video game.
It felt like True Colours. Life is Strange. True Colours.
Just like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but all right, Tommy Cooper. So then after Doctor Strange, it's Thor, and then Wakanda. So we got 5 films.
No, 4. No Way Home.
Doctor Strange.
Thor,
Oh, Thor.
Black Panther.
Oh, Black Panther.
It's 4.
Shit, we're nearly done, man.
We are nearly done, yeah.
We're nearly done.
And the next one after that is not until... Actually, no, it's quite soon. It's February 17th.
Oh, for fuck's sake. What's the one after that?
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, it's probably best we don't cover them. Because it's funny now seeing some of the people, the amount of abuse I've got.
Yeah.
It's really funny. People seem to really like these calls until we don't like a film that they like. And then they get angry at us. Fuck these guys.
One question I've got, though. Did you see the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special?
We did.
What did you think?
Terrible.
Yeah, you didn't like it, no?
I mean, it was all right. Like, it was like I overuse this, but it was like a red nosedive skit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Comic relief.
That's a very good analogy.
Yeah.
Of like what it was, yeah.
It was just one of those, and it was kind of like, okay, it's a shame. They could have done something cool, but instead they did Kevin Bacon.
Yes.
And It was barely in it.
Yeah.
What do you call him? Star-Lord was barely in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Busy filming other things, I think. So it's, yeah.
I think you're probably right. Mario.
Do Mario voices.
Do Mario voices, yeah. Goodbye, James.
All right, see you later.
Bye, mate.
Bye.